To navigate the political, cultural, and language barriers that come with researching pregnancy in another country, Colleen Glide-Julian says she channels the properties of chewing gum. Julian, an integrative physiologist at the University of Colorado's Anschutz Medical Campus, says that remaining flexible under grinding pressure is the defining characteristic that somebody must have to do this kind of work, wisdom she cultivated as a PhD student working under another Anschutz Res. You just have to take it all in stride. Working in Bolivia has meant, for example, balancing coolers of blood during hair-raising taxi rides through congested streets en route to the local hospital, crammed shoulder to shoulder with colleagues. And because luggage is often delayed in transit, the researchers sometimes have to get creative with equipment. One time while carrying out similar work in Tibet, Moore connected a boombox to her ultrasound machine to hear the blood passing through a pregnant woman's uterine artery. Julian and Moore study pregnancies at altitude, where lower air pressure means that each breath draws in less oxygen than at sea level. Because the success of a pregnancy is predicated in part on how much oxygen gets to the fetus, disruption of oxygen flow is associated with various pregnancy complications, including fetal growth restriction, preeclampsia, and gestational hypertension. The only way to ethically manipulate maternal oxygenation is really altitude, Moore tells the scientist. A lot of studies use experimental animal models. But the best model for human pregnancy is humans. The pair's findings, based primarily on studies of Andean women in Bolivia, have uncovered potential treatments for conditions linked to hypoxia. At low elevations, the two populations were similar, but above 12,000 feet, Andean infants were born larger and heavier than European babies. Uterine artery blood flow, and therefore oxygen delivery, was also twofold higher in Andean women. Comparing gene expression patterns between the two populations revealed a clue about why. Two genes in Andeans contained mutations that were positively associated with birth weight at high altitude, and one of the mutations, in a gene called PRKAA1, was also linked to increased uterine artery blood flow. That suggests a gene-by-environment interaction that provides some specific benefit at high altitude. PRKAA1, the researchers learned, is part of the AMP-activated protein kinase, AMPK, signaling pathway, a regulator of metabolism, cell growth, and vascular function that switches on under hypoxia. Back in aptly named Summit County, Colorado, where the average elevation is above 10,000 feet, the team is now probing the pathway using animal models and pieces of human myometrial arteries collected during C-sections at local hospitals. Julian sometimes sleeps in her car as people undergo their surgeries so that she can drive a cooler of samples, belted into the passenger seat, back to the lab. Julian and Moore's colleagues have designed special chambers, essentially barrels fitted with vacuum pumps, that can simulate altitudes of up to 20,000 feet, or two-thirds the height of Everest. When pregnant mice were exposed to hypoxia inside, the animals gave birth to smaller young than control mice, but pups born to mothers treated with an AMPK-activating drug during pregnancy were closer in size to the controls, if not entirely protected from hypoxia's shrinking effects. The team found similar effects in arteries taken from pregnant women at altitude. Researchers in South Africa recently completed a Phase 1/2 trial testing whether metformin could help extend the pregnancies of people with preeclampsia. Currently, delivering the baby is the only treatment. While the results aren't yet published, Catherine Kluver, a maternal-fetal medicine specialist at Stellenbosch University who led the research, says in an email that the trial went very well, and Julian is now planning a similar trial in Bolivia. Please support my channel to grow by pressing subscribe button and the bell icon. We will notify you technological news. Thank you.